I just spent about 2 weeks I spent 2 weeks in Athens with my girlfriend, and we bought a couple of books, as you could see on the thumbnail, 29 to be exact. So we're gonna go through each and every one why we got it. I'm gonna go through them, and some of them I'm gonna have a lot to say, some of them not so much. So yeah, let's get to the first book. And the first one is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi, I think her name is. And this was one my girlfriend got. I'm super keen to try and read it too. It looks really interesting. I love the hair and the blood red in the name. Like the hair is this bone colored white, and then we have the blood of the name. It just thematically fits. And we're right away being told visually by the clothing headband style that we are definitely going to be looking into some African stuff. And the backside, they killed my mother, they took our magic, they tried to bury us, now we rise. That sounds so epic. So I'm super excited for this one. I don't know if I'm allowed to read it before my girlfriend, but it's definitely going to be on the channel at some point, so look out for that. And here we have Emperor of Thorns by Mark Lawrence. And yes, this one was bought because I love Prince of Thorns, King of Thorns. So of course we're getting the third one, Emperor of Thorns. We already reviewed the first two, so this should be the final in the trilogy, I think. Yes, it seems, at least according to this book. And we're sticking with the thematic of dead people. Main character, I don't remember his name right now. It doesn't even say. We main character and putting on the Emperor's throne. So yeah, we are seeing progression, and I'm so excited to get to it because I love the first two ones, even though I hate the main character just because he's such a obnoxious person and hateful and evil, and it's perfect. It's perfect for this book. So definitely look out for this one in the near future. Leviathan Wakes was one of the books I decided to get because it has the entire Expanse series has this insane reputation in the science fiction and space opera world. So really, I've had this one on my TBR list for forever. Just haven't owned the books, haven't gotten around to reading it. But now we have it, and it's definitely gonna be read because I love science fiction, even though I don't read it as much as fantasy. But we're definitely gonna see more science fiction. We're gonna be seeing this one also coming on the channel. Like every book I'm gonna be showing here, you're gonna be seeing on the channel. But Leviathan Wakes was mainly chosen because of the Expanse series' reputation. So I have such high expectations for it, and I have never read any books by James S.A. Corey. So super excited to try that, and definitely excited. Now we have Bewitched by Laura Thalassa, I think it is, and never heard of this book, neither had my girlfriend when we found it, but we read the backside, and it's basically about this 20-year-old who's gonna become a member of a witch coven to learn to become a witch, and on her adventures she releases a great evil and has to work with that great evil to, I don't know, it doesn't really describe what, so that's really interesting, just the fact that we actually have to work with witches. We're working with the evil thing. We don't quite, just from reading backside, know what's gonna happen. I'm super keen, I'm super interested. I love the cover. I think it's such a cool eye. I think it's an eye with the mouth though, and the thorns. But I think it's supposed to be an eye. Because we have the shape of the eye. Yeah, it's an eye with thorns poking into it. The more I look at it, the more horrified I get because this is like nightmare fuel. But I don't know. I love the cover. I think it's so cool and so badass, and I am super excited for this one. I'm gonna sound like a broken record. I'm excited for all the books. But yeah, this one was not on my TBR or my radar. It was not on my girlfriend's radar. We just saw it. I think she saw it first, and just seems super interesting. So can't wait to get to it. Something my girlfriend and I have in common is thieves, assassins, and badassery in that in the sneaky style. And Among Thieves, when my girlfriend saw it, we're just we were just hooked right away. Like, Rhea the Butcher's earned her reputation as the quickest, deadliest blade in the city. Alright, first sentence, hooked. And just the blue, gray, black, like, and then with the yellow, greenish text and framing, it just works. It's absolutely badass. It stands out so well. And yeah, the only thing I find a little sad is the backside is literally the front cover mirrored. It's kind of funny. This one's definitely soared high onto my TBR. My girlfriend has, however, claimed first rights to read it, so I don't know how high it can soar because she has her own reading list. But we will see. Definitely just hits perfectly with badass, sneaky murder, assassin, thievery. Perfect. Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin, I think. Not sure. It seems to be a romantasy book. This one's definitely mainly picked for my girlfriend, but like bound as one to love, honor, or burn. That seems pretty cool. A witch and a witch hunter thrust into holy matrimony. There was only one way such a story could end: a stake and a match. That seems pretty cool. Seems pretty epic. Seems interesting. I love the color and in general. I love the cover. That was what I was looking for. With the gold and the black. I mean, gold and black always works. But I don't know. I just love it. I love with the bouquet in the background and the ampersand snake, kinda drawing towards an Ouroboros, a self-eating snake, but not quite there. So we might have a little bit of self-fulfilling prophecy, just destined to doom yourself. But yeah, definitely. I mean, super excited. I also want to get more into romantasy in general. I want to try and expand my horizon just a little bit, branching into some of the sub-genres that I normally wouldn't, and romantasy is one of the bigger new ones, and I mean, my girlfriend's into it, so I might as well try. Song of the Marked, Shadows and Crowns, Book 1 by S.M. Gaither? Gate? I don't know. It is also one of those, we're working with mercenary, sneakiness, dubious morals and gods, and it sounds epic. It's not one I have particularly high on my TBR. It's definitely one my girlfriends were way more interested in. I think the cover works. It's a little like, it's definitely meant for the title to stand out more, given how mute the cover is. But I think it works. It looks beautiful. It's interesting, and I will maybe read it. I am not quite sure. We do have the monster in the background, so it works. I'm unsure if I'm gonna read it, but can only appreciate when the cover continues though. So it's not gonna be one of the next ones you're gonna see on the channel, but you might see it. I might pick it up just out of curiosity. Next one we have is Creatures of the Night by Grace Collins. Night is coming, and so are they. And who are they? It's whoever this is here. I mean, it's a vampire. Well, not vampire, or a werewolf. But I mean, it's cool cover. I love the cover. Just the one eye staring is definitely kind of spooky, kind of interesting, intriguing. What are we looking at? Why is this fur purple? All like, and also the title works. It Creatures of the Night is kind of a standard way of describing paranormal monsters, especially werewolves. But it also, there's a reason why we use that. It works so well. It sounds scary. It sounds ominous. It works also also as a book title. So yeah, it's apparently originally published on Wattpad. So I am very dubious. I might, because it's so short, pick it up quickly. As an in-between bigger books, but don't expect it in the near future on this channel, at least on the channel. Priestess of the White by Trudy Canavan. So we have quite a few of Trudy's book on our bookshelf. I think we have 5 of them already, and I were never able to get into them. My girlfriend loves some. I don't know if she loved, but she enjoyed quite a few of her books. We have I think it's it's the Ambassador Mission thing, that series. I tried getting into her books, but I just couldn't. I might give her a shot again if I feel like just reading something, like just something that I wasn't planning on, like maybe just taking a random book. Sometimes I like to do that, but I was never a huge fan. But I do say I love this cover. It is. We have the holy war going on here, and then we have the priestess of the white, and we can definitely tell why it's called of the white, and it looks really, really good. It looks interesting for such a simple idea, but don't expect it. It might come up, but don't put your hopes too high. It's been a while since I read one of her books, so I might have changed my opinion on her, but we'll see. The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. Kuang. I would say Kuang. This book, my girlfriend is finally happy that I bought it, because I talk about it so much how I want to read it, because I've heard so much good about it, and because it's supposed to be an epic fantasy, really, really dark. I want to read more dark fantasy too, because I love them. But it's also supposed to be based semi on some historical war, but I'm not quite sure. But what's really interesting is the name, like Poppy War. Well, it's more. This is apparently about the 3rd Poppy War, but it's the first series in the book. It's a debut novel, but it's about the 3rd one in the universe, which is super interesting. I don't think I've seen that before. Like, of course, we've seen many times in books where they mention old wars, but I don't really think we quite have it hit down like this, where it's literally taken. Yeah, this is the 3rd version of war. That would be the same as a book doing a World War II, World War III, without ever describing the 2 others in a fantasy world. It's kind of unique. It's kind of funny. It's kind of different. I really want to slot it in early in my TBR, but I don't know if I can fit it in. But it will be on this channel. 100%, I can guarantee that. Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. So I read Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, and so as my girlfriend, we talked a lot about those 2 because we both enjoyed those so much. Of course, in the channel we have Rebound, King of Scars, and Rule of Wolves with mixed success, I would say. So of course we're gonna go to her roots, like the most famous trilogy, her Shadow and Bone series. So we only got the first one because neither of us were quite sure if we're gonna like it, but there's only really one way to find out, that's trying and read it. So I will read this one at some point. Again, this is lower on my TBR of all the books that I brought and I still have at home that we haven't talked about or haven't reviewed yet. It is sadly with this Netflix symbol. I hate this. I love the cover otherwise. I love the magic that she's doing. It looks intriguing, looks epic. It looks like a portal, almost looks almost like this building in there, but I think it's just magic. Just magic. Anywho, Shadow and Bone, like Leigh Bardugo, like she's such a famous author and so popular. Of course, we're gonna have to check her out probably on this channel at some point. The Cruel Prince by Holly Black is one of those books that I've seen on bookshelves everywhere, constantly, like not bookshelves, bookstores. And every time I pick it up, I'm like, ooh, it sounds really interesting. I really want to read that. And then I don't buy it. And I don't know why. I just always find another reason. But finally, both me and my girlfriend, because she also wanted to buy it, want to read it, pulled our asses together and got it. And I'm definitely going to be reading this at some point. Now I got it at home. Now there's no excuse to not read it. And it is part of quite a large series, the Folk of the Air series. So if it's worth it, we might go through the entire series. But really, it's just, I don't know why. I never picked it up. always like been on the shelf, picked it out, like, I want to read that. Back on the shelf. I don't get it. I love the cover. I love the white with the gold and the black in the letters. And even the tree, I think is supposed to be birch, is slightly gold tinted to make it match, and it works so well. And I think it's a good, like, using black inside the title is a good way to tie the author in without making her name stand out too much. Definitely prefer her name being a little smaller, so we have more space for this up here, but yeah. Also, kind of sad the tree is not wrapping around. That would be so cool. Instead, we have this little corner up here in the back, which is fine, but have the tree wrap around. That would be awesome. And yeah, the Cruel Prince. Look out for it at some point. If you want it, let me know in the comments, and I might bump it up. Actually, that goes for any book. If you want me to read it and review or discuss it, let me know, and then it'll probably be bumped up. Fortuna Swan by K.J. Sutton. So this is a fae dark romance book. Again, it's my girlfriend who wanted it. But I might pick it up. We were meant to be seductive. We were designed to lure humans in. That seems pretty interesting. Last of her kind, brother gone, someone makes an offer she can't refuse. I mean, that does sound pretty interesting, to be fair. It does sound like a pretty sweet book to read. So yeah, also the cover is kind of meh. Like, I like the dress, I like the nature dressy thing in the back that kind of flows in with the like fae-esque and the crows and the wood. But it is just person in front, so it's also a little on the boring side in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, well, every book you see here are more or less on my TBRs. The question is just how high. This one's probably like middle of the pack. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I don't even know if I'm allowed to read it before my girlfriend does. I don't know. We'll find out, don't we? Anywho, let's move on to the next one in the series. Yeah, we're taking these two together. So Restless Number is the continuation, because both Bad Habit, buying the first book in the series and buying the next one. Here they had both the first and the second, and we agreed on why not get both, because they weren't that expensive, and if we like the first, we can right away continue to the second. And yeah, and I like the new cover better. I like Restless Number way better than Fortuna Swan's cover, mainly just because I feel like we have more detail, more stuff going on. It looks more badass. It's still just person in front, but she's a bit more badass. So this one is of course very low on my TBR because I have to get through the first one first. But I don't know. I might also just make it a double feature and just do both of them in one review. I don't know. I haven't done that before. If you want that, let me know. But yeah, these are technically not meant for me, but I am allowed to read my girlfriend's books, you know. So we picked them up, and I am kind of interested in the first one. The second one has a more epic cover, but kind of have to read the first one to read the second, or else I will probably be very, very confused. Would make for a fun time, but not like a fun time for you guys, probably not for me. Let's move on to the next. The Bone Palace by Amanda Downham. I literally picked this because Bone Palace, like that looks so badass. Also, Brent Weeks gave like a little text on it, so well, on The Drowning City. So not this book, but on the author. So hey, I like Brent Weeks' books, so if he says she's a good author, I am definitely interested. But the Bone Palace, this sounds badass, and then we have the, I'm gonna guess, Native American inspired style, and I don't know if that's quite true because that looked like katana. So is it Asian? Maybe both. And also when I read the backside here, we have. Let me see if we can find. I think it was this one where I was like, huh. Iskaldor. Which, you know, is a character in Lord of the Rings, so I figured that might be a reference or something, or a pure accident, but yeah, I don't know. I am super interested. I am definitely. I think this is the second. The Drowning City, the Bone Palace. Damn it, I think I bought a sequel without realizing it. No. Well, I guess I'll have to go buy the first book, because I really wanted to read this one. That's a way of making me do it. Yeah. Anyways, let's move on to the 16th book. The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. I picked this one little because of this every age must come to an end, and when you just read it, it just sounds like we're gonna read a book about how the world's gonna end, and that sounds cool. That sounds really epic. I really am excited for that. Apparently winner of the Hugo Award after the big scandal that's been about the Hugo Award. I don't care too much for that. I mean, it's good. But apparently it's also been shortlisted for the Nebula, the Kitschies, the Audi, the World Fantasy, Goodreads Choice, People's Choice, and Locus Award, and it's James Tiptree Jr. Dragon Award thing. I don't know. And it did win the Hugo for the best novel, and it is the first book in the series. So, I mean, it can't be too bad. It definitely intrigued me. Like the fifth season, and then every age must come to an end. That just the every age must come to an end is just so epic of a tagline. And yeah, just throwing it out there. I am very, very excited for this one. So for the Book Thief by Marcus Zusak, there's this little caveat. I have actually read this book. We went to Athens, and I only brought one book. I brought Revenger by Alistair Reynolds review to come on the channel, and I finished it really quickly before we planned on going to a bookstore, because we only brought one book each because we knew we were going to a bookstore. But I finished it so fast that we went quickly, like extraordinarily, to a smaller one, and my girlfriend picked up this book. I was like, I gotta read something, and I heard good things about it, so why not? And I finished it, and I cried like a bitch. I bawled. It's such a good book. So definitely there's going to be a review coming up soon. But yeah, what really caught me is just like the name, The Book Thief, the fact that it's narrated by Death, and yeah, it has the reputation, it has a story. So I read it while in Athens, and yeah, can't wait to talk about it with you all. It's going to be one of the longest reviews, as it seems like, at least. But so it's not even on my TBR, it's already off it. And it was picked randomly. It was just my girlfriend going, you talked about this one before, right? And I was like, yeah, I mentioned it 1 or 2 times. And she goes, here you go, buy it. And I did. Well, we did. And I read it, and I love it. I did not lie when I say like thievery and assassins were something my girlfriend and I have in common, because we have another thievery book, Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Persson. And this cover is my style. I love this intricate design here. I love it. I love the red rose bulbs that are not bloomed out yet. I love the sword pillar in the middle here with the wings as right under the guard. I love this cover, and I am so excited. It is set though it is the first of a series. Like Dance of Thieves series, but it's set in the Remnant Chronicles world, which I've not read any books from, so I don't know if I'm setting myself up for mistakes or spoilers or what. I'm definitely spoilers, but I don't know. We will see. I am still very excited. I am definitely gonna read this. I love this type of cover stated, and I love how it's here. I love how it's on the back, and yeah. Look out for this one on the channel. It's a definite. Here we have, definitely not the first book in a series. This is The Triumph of the Dwarfs by Marcus Heitz. This is the 5th book in the Dwarfs series, and I have the 4 others. We reviewed the first one. We are getting to the others. Don't you worry. I might bump them up just because. But my girlfriend pointed out, I'm like, do you have that one? I don't think. And I was like, I think I do, because I thought I had all of them. We looked at our Excel spreadsheet of our bookshelf. I will show that at some point. Did not have it. So I decided to get it. And it keeps going with this weird ass CGI cover style here. It is not very nicely looking. it does stay in theme with the others, so I'll give it slack for that. This one you're gonna have to wait a while to, because we have 3 other books in the series to get through, and all of them are absolutely huge. Marcus Heitz writes a lot, and apparently he has multiple books in the series. He has the Legends of the Alpha. We're definitely gonna need to get those. Oneiros and Aira are also important, because I love Marcus Heitz's books. I don't speak enough German, so I feel like I could read them in German. I might actually get the first one in German just for fun, but I don't think so. We are sticking to the translated version by Sheila Alabaster, and I feel like Sheila has been doing a really good job from what I've read. I think it's the same person who translated all the others. So yeah, definitely look out for the Dwarf series. We are going to be reviewing all of them on the channel in due time. So let's move on. This is the book I am currently reading. This is the bookmark that we did on the channel. Daughter of the Deep by Rick Riordan. And I love Rick Riordan, that's why I got this book. Also the cover is epic, but mainly because of Rick Riordan. I love his Percy Jackson and Heroes of Olympus and Trials of Apollo, Magnus Chase, Kane Chronicles, all of those. I love every single one of them. Actually, why do I try and say them by, they're right here. I love all of his books. I have most of them, and we might get around to reviewing every single one at some point, just like we're doing Ranger's Apprentice. But I feel like taking on another huge series is gonna be when we're more or less done with the Ranger's Apprentice. But we are getting this one because it is in its own world. It is the first book of its series, and I mean, the cover is epic. It is every Riordan book. He hits so perfectly for his audience age, and apparently a 27-year-old man. So, hey, what can I say? It works, and it's great read. So yeah, look out for the channel. This one will be up in the near future. So once we're done Revenger and Book Thief, this one might come up. I don't know if I'll have another in between, but you'll see. It is going up because I'm reading it. I'm trying to be a little ahead so I don't have to stress myself. We'll see. So for the 7 Faceless Saints is the next one by M.K. Lobb. And this one, it's just because it sounded like a fun, almost mystery. So ruled by the 7 Faceless Saint, like some disciples are those, a corrupt city of inequality, a city trapped in an endless war, consuming generation of conscripts. And it's just like a disciple is murdered, and the 2 main characters must team up to hunt the killer. They must face their buried emotions as they uncover corruption and conspiracies that will bring darkness and chaos to the secrets of their home. Like, it just sounds fun. It sounds interesting. It sounds cool, and the cover is badass. I love the white marble that's cracked to show the beautiful like city is cracking. It's falling under itself. It's breaking up. It's not being torn. The crying saint, most likely a reference to that what's most likely going on is not actually religious. It's probably like very sacrilegious for the thing here, the blood for the murder. Like, it's just so beautiful. The only thing is this. Remove this and you have, in my opinion, a perfect cover. This is very high on the TBR. It might actually be the one I read after Daughter of the Deep, but we will see. And here we have the second Rick Riordan book, Magnus Chase and the Ship of the Dead. And that's because I am reading his books just kind of on my own. And this is I'm currently reading the Magnus Chase series, and this is the one I'm at. So that's why I got it. And that's how I knew I had most of them, because oh crap, when you have most of them but you're not sure, because his world is so, like, there's so many series in the universe, it's very easy to lose track. So it took a while, but we found this one, and it wasn't in our Excel spreadsheet of books we own, so that's why I have it. I'm not gonna be reviewing this on the channel before we start reviewing Rick Riordan books, and I'm not even sure what order we're gonna be doing that in, or when we're gonna be doing it. So don't look too far unless you will start begging me, but it would be a little awkward. I love his books though, so we might. I don't know. I shouldn't talk myself into it. It's a huge universe. It's gonna take forever. We're gonna stick to Daughter of the Deep for now. Let's move on. Oh yeah, I fucking love this. Just saying, I love the cover, like Ship of the Dead, and then it's the wolf. Looks like it's the wolf Fenrir on the cover. top tier. Moving on. Here we have Delicious Monsters by Liselle Sambury. And I messed up something, but I think we're good. I picked this one because it was a mystery and the cover looks so badass. And it's about a woman with magical powers to see the death, going to some house, trying to unravel things, something about a podcast. But it sounded like a dark thriller, mystery, horror-esque book. And that just sounded fun. That sounded like something I would enjoy. We read one actual horror and I kind of enjoyed that. And I also, again, I want to expand a bit more. So this is a good way of staying in the fantasy, but adding a little bit of fun. So Delicious Monster by Liselle Sambury. Kind of excited to read it. Yeah, that's all I kind of have to say. Here we have one of my absolutely favorite covers, God Killer by Hannah Kaner. I think the cover is so beautiful with the orange and the moon and the golden lettering. It's just so good. I love how it follows the moon's curvature. There's just something about it. And the fact that it continues on and actually continues on the back, but it's faded so we can read it. And it's just something about killing gods, like deicide in general, is so epic in fantasy books. So I instantly knew this was gonna be a TBR book, and it's also quite a short book. So it's gonna be an easy, well, maybe not an easy read, but it's hopefully gonna be a short read to get through. And I enjoy that because then I can spice it in between like my Leviathan Wakes or all the other massive, like the Dwarf series and stuff. Like I can spice it in easily. So yeah, look out for this one because it has a badass title, an awesome cover, and I love deicide in fantasy books. So definitely gonna have to see more of that. Here we have a bit of a jokey choice, which is The Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon by Kimberly Lemming. And it was kind of picked for fun because the title is so weird and it's a light novel. And I don't know, I'm not really normally into these type of titles here, but I was like, this just sounds like fun. I'm not gonna read the entire excerpt, but Meet and Mishap is the series called. Meet Mishaps. And I don't know, I just think this is gonna be a fun read. It's gonna bring a lot of joy, it's gonna bring a lot of smile, make me laugh. So I figured, why not? Why not give it a shot? Why not? That was literally my thought. And I love the cover. I think the cover is perfectly in line of what I am expecting from this book. So yeah, can't wait to try and read it actually. Next up is We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faisal. And I love this cover. This cover is so fucking badass. The sword that has the shiny gold inlay, the flame, the Middle Eastern entrance here. It's just so cool. And this style goes along on the back, and the cover is spine is a little bit, but it's the flame. It's awesome. I love this, and I'm so excited to get it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, it also hits perfectly. Like Prince of Death, a feared assassin who's forever bound to the command of his father, the Sultan. That sounds awesome. That sounds really, really interesting. So of course, because it's assassin, so my girlfriend and I loves it automatically, or at least are very interested. So of course, we Free the Stars, which is the sequel. And we got the same entrance way here going on. We got instead of gold, it's silver, and so we hunt the flame. Of course, then it's fire. Now we hunt the stars, so we got the stars, and we're shooting at the stars because it's the grasshopper. And it's perfect. I love it. So we're definitely gonna go through both of these at some point. They're very high, very keen, very high on my TBR. At least the first one. If it's good, the second one is definitely gonna be. And yeah, I am super excited. Also, here on the back, we have a bit more of a wavy pattern here instead of flames, but we have the same up here. Like, I don't know. I think the two covers, they match. They look good next to each other, and they fit symbolically in the same. Like, you can tell they're the same series, and I love it. And I love the style. This is just my style. And Hafsa Faisal, get ready to be reviewed at some point. And here we have the biggest boy we got in Athens, which is Empire of the Damned by J. Christoph. The continuation of Empire of the Vampire. One of my favorite books of all time. Probably my favorite books we reviewed so far. And I'm so excited because I talked back then how as soon as the Empire of the Damned would come out, I would get it and read it. I didn't get around to it, but now I finally got it. I'm so excited. I've been talking forever. Every time I see it, I'm like, I need it in my life. The cover is the same style. It's perfect. I can't wait to see all the symbolic details going on, just like in the first one. And yeah, I can only say this. It is definitely gonna be either the next book after Dawn of the Deep I'm gonna read, or there's going to be one in between. I have not yet decided. But this is in the near future. So definitely look out for that. Alright, let's go to the last. And the final book we'll be talking about that I got in Athens is Immortal Longings by Chloe Gong. Just look at that cover. The green, the red, it works. It is so badass. With probably the main character in the front. We're definitely getting some Asian, like China, either Chinatown or directly Asian city in a, what I would assume is gonna be a, what's it called, like futuristic setting. The only way to win is to survive. I don't think there's like a game. So kind of battle royale-esque, I assume, but I don't know. But this is an Empire of the Damned are the two I'm gonna have the highest on my TBR of the books we bought. I don't know which one I'm gonna be read first, or if I'm gonna pick one I have at home first, because I have another one here that I haven't talked about because I didn't get in Athens. And I'm really keen on reading too. So I'm very much in doubt. But this one is also very high on the list. But yeah, that was 29 books. And you're gonna ask, why not 30? Because 30 is boring, 29 is fun. No, it's a weight and size thing. And also, like, time. It was mainly time. But, yeah. Let me know if you read any of the books, what you think of them. And if you want any of them bumped earlier in my TBR, definitely let me know. And I'll see you in the next review or bookbinding, depending on what comes first.